So you're looking for something fast, fun, and sporty, but don't want to break the bank while buying it. Well, here's a list of the best sports cars that you can buy that won't break your strict budget. So the first car on this list is an early 2000s Audi TT Roadster, and this is perfect for the backroad driving enthusiast. If you enjoy carving canyons or the side of the mountain, this Audi TT Roadster will be a perfect machine for you to get your hands on. Not only is this an amazing beginner-friendly sports car, but this is also a great car for those who actually know what they're doing. The 1.8-liter 4-cylinder motor that put out 178 horsepower is super playful, and the high revving engine makes it a blast to actually drive. And there's a reason that this car back in the early 2000s was voted one of the best sports cars of its time period. This car was so much fun to drive, and you can put it on a track and it will not look out of place compared to the Porsches and other cars that are out there. And not only can you have all of this very serious performance kind of fun, but you can also put the top down on a sunny day and enjoy the weather outside. This car is an amazing daily driver as well as a weekend warrior, and this is a perfect beginner sports car or for someone who's just looking for something cheap that they can take out on the weekends and not have to deal with the consequences thereafter. And now the second car on this list is the SN95 Mustang. This car was made in the late 1990s and the early 2000s, and whenever this car was released, it was extremely polarizing. Most of the Mustang enthusiasts at the time did not really like the styling of the car. The engine was actually really good, the interior was alright, the performance was really good, but most of the Mustang enthusiasts just did not like the exterior. But this is a good reason as to why it's so cheap. And even though the exterior design of this car was rather questionable, what was underneath the hood was not. This came with a 4.6-liter V8 motor that put down 268 horsepower and over 300 pound-feet of torque. This SN95 Mustang was an extreme torque monster, and today you can find a lot of these Mustang GTs built over 500, 600, even 700 horsepower sometimes after some engine modifications and beefing up. And honestly, if you're looking for a beginner muscle car that you can get your hands on and start building a performance build for the drag strip or just for roll racing with your buddies at night, this will be the perfect car for you, as this engine is able to handle a ton of power. It's very buildable, and there are so many parts out there that are extremely cheap for this car that it's really easy to not only work on but to upgrade as well. This is a great beginner muscle car for under $5,000 to start getting into the muscle car world. And now for the third car on this list, we're going to be taking a trip overseas to Japan and talking about the NB Mazda Miata. Now whenever this car came out, just like the Ford Mustang, the looks were a bit controversial. The pop-up headlights were gone, and it was not quite as adorable, I guess you would say, as the NA Miata. But on a track or on back roads, this car was absolutely no joke. This NB Miata took a huge step up from the NA generation, and this generation really refined the original Miata that all of us car guys know and love today. This car made around 180 horsepower, which by no metrics is a fast car, but this car is so light, so agile, and so much fun to throw around on back roads, on canyons, on mountains, even to drift, that this car is just a blast to drive. It has to be on this list, because the fact that you can pick up a Miata, which is known as the backroad king, for under $5,000, it's actually kind of crazy in today's car market. And now while the 1.8 liter underneath the hood is not extremely potent or buildable, the top-down fun and the agile suspension that you'll play with in this car will more than make up for that lack of power. Now what if I told you you could get a BMW M3 for under $5,000, and not just any M3? You can get the E36 M3 convertible for under $5,000 in today's car market. This car came with a 3.2 liter straight 6 engine, which was the very first M car to feature such an inline 6 engine. All the rest of them before had the 4-cylinder motors. And of course, among many car guys, even today, the E36 M3 actually holds a very special place in our heart. This car is an amazing piece of machinery, and the craftsmanship is absolutely unmatched from BMW. The E36 M3 can be used as a drift car, it can be used as a backroad car. You can beef up the engine, it's very buildable, it's very tunable. And not only is the engine very buildable and the car is very fun to drive around, but the fact that you can get a convertible and a actually reliable BMW, surprise, surprise, this car was actually really reliable, for under $5,000 is really insane. This is probably one of the best deals on the list because you can pick up a BMW M3 for under $5,000. And now moving into what is arguably the absolute best car for under $5,000 on this list, we're going to be talking about the 1997 to 2004 Porsche Boxster. This car is once again a convertible. For some reason, the convertible versions of cars are like way cheaper, like $5,000 cheaper than the coupe versions of cars. And even though the Porsche Boxster obviously did not come in a coupe version, this is still kind of seems to be the case, as you can find a very nice Porsche for under $5,000 in a lot of cases with these cars. And what you're getting with this car is a very nice flat six with great handling. Obviously, it's a Porsche. It has all that racing heritage. It's a very legendary car. And the soft top on this car definitely does not hold it back. You can throw this car around on a track, in the mountains, on the canyons, even on your local back roads, and have a ton of fun with it. This car will not be out of place anywhere except for maybe a drag strip. But anywhere that you can think of where there's a turn in the road, this car will be a blast to drive and it will feel like home. And there are 5 amazing sports cars for under $5,000. Whether you're just under a budget or you're a newbie into the car community and are looking for something cheap and relatively reliable, any of these 5 cars are an amazing choice for you. But as always, I hope you enjoyed the video. Be sure to like, share, subscribe. Check out the video on your screen right now. But for now, this is Scion Life signing out.